Welcome back to another episode. We were here yesterday with Liz Willits, and we had a great time there. And thanks to everyone who's joining us today. Of course, thanks as always to our sponsor, Engage. Engage is a fantastic platform for doing email marketing, both in terms of deliverability and personalization. Two key points. Anyway, that's enough about them. Let's talk about today's guest. Today's guest is Emily Ryan. There's a lot I don't know about her, so I'll be upfront about that. But we'll hear about that in a minute. So please welcome Emily Ryan.
Yay!
Yes, Emily, welcome to Inboxing.
I'm so excited about this one. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm really glad I was able to get you also, for sure. So yeah, I didn't even mention Westfield Creative, but that's your agency.
Yes.
So Westfield Creative is your email marketing agency, and I wonder if you could tell us a little bit first about yourself, your personal background, and how you ended up going in that direction.
How I ended up on your podcast. Yes. So I think the easiest way to explain it is I own a email marketing agency that focuses pretty heavily on MailChimp email marketing. We are MailChimp Pro partners, which is they have partners and then they have pro partners, which is kind of like, we manage a lot of MailChimp clients basically. And we do a lot of email design. We do a lot of training, MailChimp training, email templates, a lot of automation setup. Pretty much anything within MailChimp we can probably help with, but we heavily focus on designing emails, training, and weekly management for some of our clients. And we work with a lot of e-commerce brands and really a range of clients from, we have a hardware store and we have lawyers and we have, a beer company that we work with. So a really fun mix, which is what I love about email marketing, the mix of clients. But yeah, so I've owned this business about 7 years. We're a very small team. Myself and my sister as my co-founder. She's super techie, like worked in the .coms for many years in Seattle, and she codes. And I'm a little more on the creative side. And then we have some subcontractors that are incredible and help us every day. And that's what we do. And then on the side, I tweet and I Instagram. I mostly Instagram story my life away. And I post a lot about MailChimp and email and just crazy random fun stuff as well.
All right, cool. Could you tell us a little bit about your background? Like how did you become Miss MailChimp?
Ooh, I love that. Well, it's a great question. My story's kind of a little bit all over the place, but I'm originally from North Carolina in Charlotte, in the States. And I grew up doing theater and musical theater. I was a singer and dancer. Went to college, got a BFA in musical theater, which is funny. I actually went to college with Val Geisler, who is this amazing. Oh. So she was in stage management, which a lot of people don't know, but we literally did shows together. And now we're both in email marketing.
That's so funny.
Most people know who Val Geisler is. If you don't, you better look her up.
Yeah. No, I've heard great. Maybe I'll speak to her actually about coming on the show because
she's incredible.
She's gotten a few times shouted out. I forget who the last person was to mention Val.
Oh my god.
You're not the first.
I've learned a lot from her. But anyway, I moved to New York City where I lived for 11 years, and I quickly fell out of the theater business. It was just, I was burned out. I was my heart wasn't in it anymore. And so I started working, quote, regular 9-to-5 jobs because I had to pay the rent. And my last job in New York City was for a startup nonprofit tech company. And that is where I first used MailChimp. I was told to, let's create an email and see if we can get some donors out of it. And I was like, okay. And I think I've heard of something about a monkey or like that's literally how I decided to use MailChimp. I was like, I think there's a program, mail something, and I think that's what MailChimp does so well is they, that monkey is everywhere. Like they have billboards everywhere,
It's
Um,
really true. It makes it much more memorable. I mean, like I was talking yesterday to Liz, and she worked at AWeber, and nothing against AWeber. I'm sure they do great work, but like it's just not a monkey. It's like you have to remember AWeber.
yeah,
You can't look up like Email Monkey and find Mailchimp.
right. It's the brand. Yeah, the branding is
It's
spectacular.
strong.
Is
Yeah.
strong. Yeah. So that's where I first started using it. And then over the years, I eventually left New York and I wanted to work from home. I had my first child and I really wanted to find a way to work from home. So Val actually, she said, Emily, you should look into being a virtual assistant because it's really, people need that. And, you can make great money. So that's actually how I started. And many of my clients that I was doing just regular virtual assistant work for, they all needed MailChimp help. They all needed it. And I've always loved design and, creating graphics. So I just started like focusing on that more and more. And then MailChimp somehow found me on Instagram, the people at MailChimp, and they invited me to come to something called Partner Lab in Atlanta, where they're based. And so flew there and spent a couple days, just immersing myself with the MailChimp people. And it was so incredible. And it really just solidified how much I love the company and the brand. So ever since then, that's all I do. That's all I do. So
When was that? Like, how long ago are we talking about that?
it's
Mailchimp?
not that long ago. So I was there in 2019. It was April 2019. So 3 years ago was Partner Lab. And ever since then, I've just been partnering it up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. And it's funny because we did a lot of, we used to do WordPress and MailChimp because my sister really, really has expertise in WordPress. And then slowly over the years, we were like, all right, let's just stop doing WordPress. We're just going to niche down to just MailChimp. And now we've kind of niched down even more to niched.
Yeah, niche. It's either way works. Tomato, tomato.
But now we've kind of focused in on what we do best within MailChimp because you can say, oh, I do everything, but we really are best with like weekly management for clients and template design, but we're not great at like super complex customer journeys. And so really finding out what we do well. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did your background in music and the arts and dancing, did that prepare you in any way for doing emails?
I love that question. I've thought about this before. Like, how come there's so many artists and creatives that are working in marketing and email marketing? I mean, I'm telling you, so many people that were in the theater world that are doing something in digital marketing. I think that it's creative. It's like it's technical, but it's creative. I'm still using that when I design an email or the client says, listen, I want to create this. I'm literally using that same side of my brain that, you use when you're performing. It's very creative. They're obviously very different skill sets. You have to know your way around a computer and be a bit technical, but yeah, and I think it's helped me in marketing my own business. Like I often feel like on Instagram or wherever, like it's almost like I'm performing. Like sometimes if I'm doing a story like this here, like it's like I'm on stage right now.
Well, you seem very comfortable in that position.
Well, I think it's really helped with marketing with marketing my business a lot.
Uh-huh. I'm curious to know, like, does MailChimp send you clients as being a MailChimp Pro partner? Or is it more like you have to keep posting on Instagram and market yourself, you're Miss MailChimp, in order to get clients?
That's a great question also. So yes, they do. What's really cool is once you become a partner, which now they have something, it's called MailChimp & Co. And it's free to join. Like you could go now and sign up. You get certified in MailChimp. They have three courses. And then you have to have a certain number of paid MailChimp clients that are connected to your account. So I think it's 10 paid clients to become a partner. Once you have that, then you can go into their experts directory, which is amazing. And that's been really huge. So now that we're pro partners, we kind of are at the top of the expert directory. We've made our way to the first couple pages, and we get leads like almost every day. It's crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like MailChimp is still one of the biggest ESPs in the business. Like they probably have hundreds of thousands of clients. So like,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
there's endless supply of work.
It was like 14 million, 16 million customers they have. I mean, the amount of MailChimp work out there is endless. Like I tell people this all the time. I'm like, we're with other MailChimp partners. I'm like, we're not in competition because there is too much work out there for people that need MailChimp help. Like there is so much. So
wow. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, we kind of got into that. Like, okay, like you moved out west and okay, yeah, we'll skip that one. All right. Let's go to what do you find upsetting in your inbox?
Oh gosh. What don't I find? That's the problem with being an email marketer is you're constantly looking at things that are to critique. And I hate doing that because people work so hard at emails and we're all just doing our best, right? But what drives me bonkers are emails that are all images, like a big all image email coming into my inbox. My issue is like I'm out and about a lot and I'll look on my phone and an email will be blank because it's all one big graphic and it won't load. And I mean, maybe it has the alt text that you can see, but it kills me because somebody worked so hard on that graphic and I can't see it because my self-service wasn't great or whatever. So all image emails do upset me.
Yes, me too. If I'm nodding, but people can't see the nodding, but
yes.
yeah. Well, and you see it, I think, more and more. I mean, like shockingly, how much text is in images, and not even like stylized text. Just like I don't call it laziness, but I feel like the demand for email is so hard on agencies, particularly.
Yeah.
Like they're taking on so many clients and just we got to pound them out, design, shoot it, blast it. I hate blasts.
Yes. It's so sad. But I also I get bummed out when I see like the unsubscribe link being like almost nearly impossible to read or like the color like blends in. They make it so you can you want to have that link there. You want people, if they don't want to be there, you don't want them there. So
right. Like why would you hide the door of the room? Like
sometime I'll post on my stories. I'm like, okay, let's play a game of can you find the unsubscribe link? Because I can't. It's crazy. So yeah, I could go on and on.
Did you go to Unspam? I'm just curious because we're talking about like unsubscribe links and that's if you can't find the unsubscribe link, you're almost certainly going to find the spam link.
Yeah.
Because that's a big button.
I wasn't Unspam here in Chicago. And I didn't mention that I'm based outside of Chicago in the suburbs. And I was so excited to get to that. It was a few weeks ago. And it was amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome if like email marketing conferences like come to your door.
Thank you, Chicago 2022. Thank you.
For sure. All right, now this is not a fun one, but what was your biggest email mistake? And I like to preface this with like what makes like good email marketers, what separates like this, is the seasoning, and the seasoning comes from our mistakes and knowing what we've done in the past. That hurt helps us avoid the next mistake.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about this question earlier, and I was like, you're not an email marketer if you haven't made big mistakes. Like right. I want to hear from an email marketer who's like, oh, I've never screwed up. We've had quite a few moments. The thing with emails, like just so many things can go wrong. Like this is why you test and preview and have different sets of eyes on your email. I think one of our most unfortunate ones was a client we had and they wanted. Sorry, my phone is going crazy here.
Yeah, I just made sure mine is like on
Oh my
super
gosh.
silent, and now I'm gonna airplane it.
Yeah. No, so we had this one client that wanted to send an email to people that have purchased, only to people that have purchased, offering them like a special discount because they had purchased before to come back and purchase more. Well, we had created the segment, and the drop down is has made a purchase or has not made a purchase, and it's literally a matter of a drop down affecting your entire email. So we accidentally chose has not purchased. So this huge discount, and it was like 50% off. It was some huge discount, went to the people that have never purchased. And our client was really, really upset. She was like, this, and they were a small business. She's like, this hurts us because we're giving this huge discount now to people who think that we'll just be sending them these big discounts. And it was really, and it was like so heartbreaking because it was a matter of like, okay, we didn't double check that segment before we sent. It was like just one of those like quick things.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, like there's so many parts to it.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen like an email marketing like checklist, it's like it's huge.
Yeah, and you can even have like the best checklist. And I think what happens with a lot of clients is, this was an instance where it was an email put together within 24 hours of when it's sent. And we actually, in our contract, we're like, we always need at least 24 hours, at least. Because this is what happens when you rush to do an email, then mistakes are going to happen. So
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Thanks for sharing that. I'm sure maybe that will prevent someone else's mistake down the road.
Check your segments. We always check typos, we check links, but check your segments for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, let's flip it. So what was your biggest win when you knocked the socks off your client?
That's also a hard one to pick.
Well, that's good. It means you have a lot.
Well, no, I mean it's hard to figure out what makes a great win. For me, the biggest wins are, just clients who are happy. Like we always, after a project, we'll say, can you write us a short testimonial or a short quote we can have? And when we get something back that was like, you totally helped me figure this out. I was stressed and you helped me. And, you made, my favorite is like, you made MailChimp like easy for me and you made things easier. You're going to save me. You're going to save me time. Those are like my favorite like wins ever. And I save those in a folder because I'm like, that's why I love this business. Like when we can really, save a business owner time or money. Of course, like I love when we send an email and it makes tons of money. And I think there's no better feeling for an email marketer than like when you look at the revenue column and you're like, oh my gosh, like that email made $6,000 from that simple email. $6,000, like it's crazy. So those are, yeah.
Nice. All right. All right. Do you have like 5 tips you'd like to share with us?
Sure.
Your tips. Emily Ryan's 5 tips. Here they go.
I have so many tips. I could give you like 20, but I'll give you 5. So my 5 tips would be, number 1, just don't overthink your emails. We, too many clients that we work with, like they take days and weeks to perfect their newsletter and every section. I'm like, guys, it's just an email. Like, it's okay. Like, let's keep it simple. Don't overthink your copy. Like, keep it so short. So that's my tip 2. Keep your copy short. And I mean, really short. Like, we don't need 2 paragraphs, like 1 to 2 sentences. You can tell what you need to tell. And I always say, just like, go look at all the emails out, like brands and what they're sending, and you'll see how incredibly short the copy is. It's crazy.
Particularly for brands. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No need for that.
keep your copy short, keep your text large. You know, a lot of people don't realize that 14 point is actually small. You know, I like 16 point and higher. Just makes it so easy to read. Like it feels really big when you're creating it. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's really large. But when someone goes to look at it on their phone, it's so
It's
much.
just easy to. I mean, it goes also with short, meaning if you have a little bit of copy, but it's nice large font, like
Yes.
that's really pleasant to read.
Yes. Easy. Readability is everything. And the last one would be large buttons. I like a large, I mean, our goal is to get people to click, ideally, to go to our website to purchase a product. And then you have this teeny little button in your text. Like, no, like you want a nice, large button that they can see, that's contrasting color, and that they can just click. Yeah.
All right. Did we get to 5? Is that 5?
We
got buttons. We got big text. We got
large text.
Short text. Keep it simple. Get it done. Right. Don't overcomplicate. All right. I think we got 5.
Check your segments. Yeah.
Check your segments. That's another good one. All right. So what are the top mistakes? I mean, you kind of already mentioned a few.
Oh my gosh. I mean, there's just so many. Yeah, I think just not testing and not double checking. I think it really is helpful to have like 2 or 3 sets of eyes on the email. So I always love when we're about to send an email, I have everyone on my team look at it on their phone, on another device. Even if you run your email through a litmus test or whatever, like you still need actual human beings to take a quick look. Testing those merge tags, like previewing. So many people just don't realize you can preview how the merge tag will populate. You guys got to do that, you know, like.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, I'm pretty sure everyone who listens to Inboxing knows what a merge tag is, but in case someone is listening that isn't really an email marketer, merge tags are those tags like fname or any kind of personalization you're doing that populates from the data set is a merge tag.
Yeah. So other biggest pitfalls, you know, the file size of the email being too large, you know, then it gets clipped in Gmail, and that's a big problem. Keeping that file size down, like, you know, I love using tinypng.com to kind of compress images, the PNG images. It keeps the quality, but it you know, keeps the file size down.
The Panda. We love Panda.
It's such an amazing free website. Like, thank you.
Right.
But yeah, so testing. But I really think that the biggest pitfall is overcomplicating. You know, I see so many people also not send emails because they're like, I don't know what to send. You can literally send an email that's like one of your Instagram posts. Like, take your Instagram post and use the image and use the caption. Like that could be your email. Like, not sending emails because you don't know what content to use is a pitfall to me. You can take the simplest story about your business or, oops, are you still there? There you are.
I'm still here. I didn't freeze.
You can take your a story of one of your best customers, or, you know, a time when your business failed and you figured it out. Like, there are just so many things that you could easily make an email out of.
Nice. All right. So you're big on design. So I was curious if you had any design tips in particular.
Yeah. And I think we've discussed some of them, but I think my biggest tip is to just, sorry, my son is sick in the background. But to really start observing emails in your own inbox, or in your spam folder, or reallygoodemails.com. What emails are you drawn to, and why? Like, okay, yeah, this email looks really cool, but why do you think it looks cool? Is it because the photography is so amazing. Is it the fonts? Is it the amount of white space? I think one of my biggest email design tips that I always say is white space is like your best friend with email. You want lots of spacing between elements, just to give things room to breathe. I always, if you have a button, I always end up adding white space around the button, just so that button really stands out by itself. So white space is huge in design. But yeah, like a site like Really Good Emails is so helpful because it's just like the best email designs out there. So go take a look at those and see, what makes a great email. And usually they're not super long. They're, not all one big graphic. They're fun. Like, people forget to have fun with email. Like, use some fun background colors. Like, don't be scared to use, people are using neon a lot right now. Like, it does not always have to be white or black. Try some different stuff, using lots of color and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
You've made it to write you have an email, at least one, on Really Good Emails, right?
Yeah, we have a couple. I think 4 or 5. I need to submit some more. But nothing makes me more excited than when you get that email that's like, you made it onto Really Good Emails, because we do work really hard at these emails, and I do think emails are a work of art. It's like a website. It's like a beautiful website, or it's graphic design. That's what it is. So it's always like such an honor to be added to that site.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't know if you do this, side of the business so much, but I was wondering if you could share any list building strategies.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the most asked questions by people that come to us is like, okay, well, how do I grow my list? And there's so many ways, that you can do it. Whether that's adding a pop-up to your website that, gets people to opt in. Obviously we always talk about lead magnets, and creating, like, what I did was just create a very simple PDF. I have a PDF on our site that's like, it's like 49 MailChimp design tips. And it took me like a couple hours to create, and it's a lot of tips, but I've been using it for like 2 years, like so long. And so you create some PDF and you give that as your opt-in to people that sign up. And I think that's one of the best things you can do. Of course, like posting on social often, tweeting, I always tell people, like, don't forget to tweet or go to Twitter and post about your newsletter, and do it weekly. Like, you can't just do it once and think you're going to grow your list. Like, you need to make a conscious, like, consistent effort of doing, promoting your, signing up often.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're putting in that effort, you're putting in the work, to build a newsletter every week. Like, get it out there, let people know.
Yes. Every time you send a newsletter, post it to these channels, and and make sure your website not only has a pop-up, but has multiple places to opt in on the homepage. Like, if you go, I was looking at Olipop, the drink. Oh. I was looking at Olipop. Yeah.
Is that very popular? Like, because I signed up because I saw it somewhere. And I like their emails a lot. Like,
oh my gosh, their emails are really fun. The drink has become very popular.
But really? I had no idea. I'm not in the States.
I haven't had it much, but it's delish. But their website, if you go look, they have a pop-up. They have a bar scrolling at the top that's asking people to subscribe. And they have a button that says subscribe. So they're collecting from all these different places. And I'm telling you, it works to have, several options for people. Put it everywhere.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe the guy who used to be running their email was this guy, Eli Weiss. And he just started working for this other company, Jones Road. So we should probably check out their emails also.
Yes. Oh, I'll go sign up. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But no, their emails are great. And I think that's why I originally subscribed, because I wanted to see see their emails.
That's exactly why I subscribed, for sure. And then they had a great SMS as part of their welcome series. Like, yes, I totally copied it for my client.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I get that.
All right. So who are some of your favorite brands in the inbox? Like, whose emails do you love to open?
Yeah. So this is hard, but I really like emails that are fun and bright. Obviously Olipop is great, but postable.com is one of my favorites. And their emails are so simple, but they're so fun, and they're usually funny. They have a little GIF. They sell cards online. I've used their service actually for many years to send thank you cards and stuff. But their emails are so fun, and so I love Postable. And then I love J Crew. Not only because I like their clothes, but their emails are just, they know their audience so well. Like every email I open from them is like, I'm just like, this is just gorgeous. Like their emails are beautiful. Just the colors, they use GIFs. I also like Everlane, the clothing brand. Their emails are so simple. I mean, very minimalistic. Like it'll be like 2 words and a big image and like a button. But I love that because it just shows you don't need much. You don't need much. You need great photography to sell a product. So.
All right. Awesome. All right. So what opportunities do you think, I say about marketers, but I feel like maybe businesses, because that's more who you're dealing with, but they're missing out because they just don't know what they can do.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I don't think people realize the power of email. And I think that's why I get so happy when I get a client that knows how important they know they need to do email. They just need help because email is so incredibly powerful. And I think most people are missing out because they're not sending enough email because they're scared to bother people. And it's just the same. I hear that over and over, like, oh no, we only want to send like one, maybe every 2 weeks. Or, we still get people that want to send 1 a month or 2 a month. And I'm like, it's just not going to benefit. It's a waste of time. I do think depending on your business, people might not want to hear from a law firm 3 days a week. So I get that. But in most cases, people are not sending enough emails. And the clients that I have that are making like significant money on email, they're sending emails often, like, 5 times a week, or, at least 2 or 3 times a week, because every email they send is making money. So why won't you just send more? Why shouldn't you send more?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think are the most common, misconceptions about email?
I mean, oh my gosh, I think so many, like, people that think, oh, I only need to be on social, like I only need to be like on Instagram. I'm like, well, did you check your email this morning? Yeah. Like, okay. So like, people thinking that social media is the only place they need to be. Of course, it's incredibly important and you need to be active on social, but email is such an important channel, and you're going right into someone's inbox, which is so personal and powerful. So people just don't realize that. But also I think, the conversation where like, oh, is email even like big anymore? Like now it's SMS, or now it's like Facebook ads. And I always just say, like, did you check your email today? Check your email. Like, it's not going anywhere from anytime soon. So thinking that email is dead, or email's not trendy or cool, like, no, all the big brands are emailing a lot and investing a lot in email. So.
Yeah, actually, it's bigger than ever. It's never been more popular.
Yeah, it's our little secret. Yeah.
All right. And I think we've reached the end. So yeah, do you have any final thoughts that you'd love to share?
Well, I first of all, thank you. This is so fun. I could just sit here and answer fun questions all day. No, but I think with email, if I could say anything, it's like I wish people could have more fun with email marketing. Um, people will come to us and they'll be so frustrated and they're like, "Ah, I don't, I'm stuck, I'm frustrated." And I'm like, all right, I promise you, once you really kind of understand how the tool works, you can actually have fun. Like it can be fun to create an email. And for me personally, I send a weekly email it goes out on Sundays, but it's like my favorite thing to create every week because I put in it stuff that I personally love and that I want to read. And I just like, I love finding like an image for the top. I think it's a very creative process. So, I just tell people like email can be fun. You got to make it fun. You got to, once you learn the tool, which I promise isn't too hard. Yeah, but just like stop stressing out about it and just like have fun.
Have fun. That's to wrap it up. Yeah, have fun. Have fun with your email marketing, development, and have fun with your inbox and everyone and your audience.
Yes.
That's great advice. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emily Ryan.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
clap it up,
I'm
for
so
sure.
excited. I appreciate you having me, and I've always been a fan of yours on Twitter and LinkedIn and everywhere for so long. Like your name just stays, it sticks with you. It stays with you, and so I was really excited that you asked me to be here.
Oh, thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Stick around. I'll be right back. That's our show for today. Thanks again to our guest, and of course, thank you to OnGage, who makes this all possible with their support. We're almost done with season 2, which means sponsorships for season 3 are coming up, and get more about that later. But we got 2 more guests to go, and we'll see who we can dig up. If you'd like to be a guest, we got 2 episodes left. So let me know. And that's it. Have a great day, everyone.